Diversity is more than just the way people look in the boardroom. It is also about how everyone of different races, different nationalities, different genders, backgrounds, sexual orientations, and abilities think. The value of diversity is in the value of diversity of thought. It's the range of human differences.
The credentials of the women, their performance actually speaks for themselves. So we have to be very careful when we are putting up the nominees for promotions to actually quell, this perception of positive discrimination. It's a very difficult subject, and I'm not saying that we are 100% successful in it, but and these are the things which will come up more and more again. So we need to be careful as organizations about these perceptions.
I think for individuals, I would say remember that you have transferable skills. So not everything is going to be like for like. So remember that your skills are what counts. So leverage that. The second would be remember that you have a voice and your voice matters and it counts. And don't be afraid to use it.
Thinking about opportunity, that's what we've got to do. Thinking about opportunity, thinking about how we can support the emergence of these great women leaders that we have and that we know that we have. And maybe the point that really resonated too with me was something that Richard mentioned too, which is that we need to value everyone.
At KPMG, we truly believe in higher purpose, and so that was one of our things on which we measured a lot of our things we did, not only client relationships, but also how we dealt with our people, how we dealt with across. So I'm just not talking just females, but across the organization. It was a prism we used.
We want to build a company that successive generations can actually be proud of, that we can look back in our twilight years and say, I worked there at some point in time, and look at what that company is doing for the social environment that we are a part of and the commitment that it's making to helping people in the world.
As a chemical company, obviously sustainability is a big topic for us. And our purpose is about creating a sustainable future. And that future is diverse, and that future needs different types of thought leadership to address the challenges of today. So I think that's something that's also very close to the heart of BASF, and I really...
So I guess I urge all of you here today to not let perfectionism kill or limit your career, to go forward, be bold, believe in your abilities and believe in your value. You may not be successful every time, but I bet you'll be successful the majority of times that you try.
One powerful approach we find is to help leaders develop self-awareness. We need to acknowledge that most of us, most leaders, do not live a truly diverse life ourselves. So a great place to start is for CEOs, for HRs, for leaders to really examine whether they are living a truly diverse life.
We are, as you all know, we're going through constant disruption, right? We have technological, social, environmental shifts that are happening in our everyday life around us. That's happening. So we need real leaders that can really take action and can really have an impactful effect to the organization.
But the fact that depending on whichever organization it might be, with the exception perhaps of IFC, anywhere from 20 to 15% of the top leadership generally tends to be women. So hence the responsibility to bring about change largely does fall on men to recognize that when you've got 70 to 80% of your leadership positions are with men, it's the men who have a greater influence to drive change.
I wanted to make just a couple comments on some other things that have transpired because I think it's so fascinating and so important. And one was this caregiving kind of responsibility that women take on much greater outside of the workplace than men do. And I really do think that future of work, as technology enabled as it may be or not, will only be more equal if the future of home is more equal.
At the most fundamental level, I'm sure you'll all agree that no sustainability strategy can be workable if it ignores the interests of a substantial number of its stakeholders, whether they're of a minority gender, race, age, sexual preference, or religion. The 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals aim to make the world more equitable and equal for all.
Gender equality is one of my personal pet subject, and I also set up a Women for Green network, basically to engage and empower women to drive sustainable development at home, at work, or at play.
But I think very important is as a male person in the organization, we need to create a safe environment for everybody. It's not just different gender. We're talking about diversity here, right? People from different backgrounds, different countries, different preferences. Anybody, right? It's an equal and safe environment.